Okay, so we're here at the Lansing Makerspace today, and we're going to work on making the rosebud for the movable garden sculpture. So some of the flowers in the sculpture are not fully metal or fully ceramic. They're a blend of metal and ceramic. So I wanted to make just the bud for those out of this 24 gauge stainless steel. As you can tell, I cut out the circle, and then a circle that fit the petal, and then I cut out the individual petals. And then I drilled it with a 1/4-inch drill hole down the center, and I sanded it on both sides to try and get rid of some of the super pointy parts. And then I put it on this threaded 1/4-inch rod with a nut underneath and a nut on top. And we're going to press this part up that's down to make it hold. And we're going to just bend the petals around. So a few safety tips. I have a lot of hair. I always wear a bandana to keep my hair out of my face, number one. Number two, it's really cold in here, so I'm super drippy, so I'm sorry about that. Number two, I obviously wear glasses. Here's the deal. If I took these off for a second, which I'm not going to do for that long, there's a whole bunch of side clearance in these, so I don't like to wear them as my primary safety glasses, so I'll always wear a second pair. First step, we're going to put this guy here, this bud, in the vise. I don't like how high that's sitting, so I'm going to sit it a little lower because the first thing we're going to do is just whack on that extra piece threaded rod. So we're going to get hot with our propane torch. We've got an assortment of delicious hammers for later sitting here. So let's go. Getting it nice and hot so we can hammer it down. That nut is good and on there now. So the next thing we want to do is grab a pair of pliers, because we're going to be doing some subtle work on forming those petals. So we got 5 petals on here, and if you look at this one, you can't see very much, right? I haven't done anything to it. But let me grab another one I got hanging out in the shop bed. So I like to texturize the petals. So these petals have some delicious texture on them. That texture sits on the outside, so instead of putting it down like this, you put it down like this, so that when you curl these petals, upward, what you're getting is that texture that's on the outside. Cool. Other thing that you're gonna see, potentially, maybe not from this angle, but at the end, and definitely on the sculpture, is the fact that 24 gauge is thin enough to be able to temper it with just this propane torch. So you'll see the variety of tempering colors appear. Right now, as I'm looking down at it, I see the blues, the purples, and some of those really delicious corn and maize yellows on there. So I think that's actually really fun. It was a hidden effect because I was going to do the sculpture in 20 gauge, which doesn't really do this. But I think this fun tempering coloring of the 24 gauge really adds something special to the sculpture. I like to do all my petals the exact same way. I find this very zen, and I find that if you have one set of petals, another set of petals, another set of petals, another set of petals, so I normally make these with 4, doing them all the same way helps you kind of get in a zen pattern. So what I do is I always curl up one side toward the middle on each one as I'm pulling them up. So start with this one here. Just gonna make sure that one is extra curled in that direction. Come over to this one. We want to move this one a little bit out of the way. So do that first. Sometimes you gotta jostle your petals. That's okay too. Right, we're just curling and moving, curling and moving. There it goes. So as I'm pulling them up, you know that left side always sits inside the right side of the other petal. Fine-tuning as I go along, making sure I'm getting that curvature that I want. This one on nice. And it's your last petal that always gives you difficulty. So we got this petal that's like kind of hanging out, right? So we gotta move this one back. We gotta start curving this one. As you can see, I'm getting some pain points here. And now my computer's like, hey, fall asleep. Give me some life. So I did that. Okay. And then, if you're having some problems, I like to come in with the hammer a little bit. Be like, okay, let's get you looking like you're supposed to be looking here. It's like, uh-oh, we got a pedal that's going to the side. Oh no, we can fix that. So it's always good to have a nice variety in your arsenal of tools. I got this hammer, I got this hammer, a big hammer, I got tongs. Preferably, I'd have much smaller tongs than this to do finer work on the edges of the pedals and to do, I would say, work that might give me a little more texture if I chose to put texture on the inside of these. But this is what I got this morning, so that's how we're rolling. Some pedals just be more frustrating than others, and you just gotta hit them, and that's cool. Like, get to your spot, get nice and curvy. I don't want to see that inside. Nuts, I don't care about it. So to finish this up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to do fine work on the very edges of the pedals. Just get them to peel over a little bit. Really open this up a little bit. Give it some edges that look natural in nature. So that's how I'll finish the formation part of this up. The way that I finish these totally to give them a good seal is that I'm a big fan of working locally in Lansing and using natural materials. So I go to the big farmer's market that happens at the Capitol building here in Lansing 3 times a summer, and I get some beeswax. So this is my natural beeswax that's left over. Smells really good. You can tell I use it for a lot of projects. And I'll come in on the top of this and I'll seal it off with the beeswax. I'm not going to do it while it's in the post vise because I don't want to have to clean that mess up. So I'll probably set up some newspaper and do it over that and then clean up the newspaper and make my life a little easier. So I hope you've enjoyed this short and sweet tutorial on making these little rosebuds. Click the, if you're interested, click that subscribe button down there, smash the like button. I appreciate it. Thank you.